Things are starting to get really interesting right now. Just when it felt like the roster was beginning to take shape, another move has been made that could create some unexpected competition heading into training camp. This is the kind of addition that might not grab all the headlines today, but it could become a storyline worth watching over the next few weeks. There are plenty of questions about how this player fits, what role he could have, and whether he can turn this opportunity into something much bigger. Let's break down exactly what this move means and why Steelers fans should be paying attention. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button and drop a comment below with one thing every Steelers fan loves to say. Here we go. Let's see how many members of Steelers Nation are watching right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers have made another move to add competition and depth to the roster, officially signing linebacker Jamin Davis to the 90-man off-season roster after he participated in the team's mandatory minicamp and did enough during that opportunity to earn a contract. This is a move that may not generate the same level of attention as a blockbuster acquisition, but it is still an important development because it gives Pittsburgh another athletic defender to evaluate throughout the remainder of OTAs and into training camp. Davis arrives in Pittsburgh at just 27 years old, bringing with him an interesting background that includes being selected in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft by Washington. Coming out of college, he was viewed as an extremely athletic linebacker with significant upside and the physical tools needed to become a productive defender at the professional level. During his time in Washington, he primarily played as an off-ball linebacker and showed flashes of the potential that made him such a highly regarded prospect entering the league. What makes this signing particularly intriguing is the way his career has evolved over the last few years. While he initially found opportunities as an off-ball linebacker, later coaching staffs attempted to transition him into a different role. When Washington underwent changes, Davis was moved toward an edge-rushing role in an effort to maximize his athletic traits. However, that transition did not produce the results the team hoped for, and his career path became less stable as a result. Now, Pittsburgh gets an opportunity to evaluate whether there is still untapped value in his skill set. The Steelers invited him to work out during mandatory minicamp, and the performance was evidently strong enough to convince the organization that he deserved a place on the off-season roster. That alone suggests that the coaching staff saw something worth developing further over the coming months. One of the biggest talking points surrounding Davis is his size profile. At 6'4" and approximately 234 pounds, he is considered light for several linebacker responsibilities. Questions naturally emerge regarding where he fits best within the defensive structure. If used as an off-ball linebacker, there are concerns about whether he possesses the ideal build to consistently handle early down responsibilities against the run. If used as an edge defender, there are also questions regarding whether he has enough size to regularly set the edge and hold up physically against offensive linemen. Because of those factors, Pittsburgh may choose to continue exploring multiple possibilities during camp. The fact that Davis reportedly practiced alongside the edge rushers after arriving gives an indication that the organization could be interested in further evaluating him in that capacity. At the same time, his previous experience as an off-ball linebacker means there is still positional versatility that can be examined throughout the summer. Another notable aspect of this story is the familiarity between Davis and defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. During Davis's time with the Las Vegas Raiders, he spent a brief period in a defense led by Graham. Although the sample size was limited, that previous connection matters because it means the coordinator already has first-hand knowledge of the player's strengths, weaknesses, and overall profile. That familiarity may have played a role in Pittsburgh's willingness to bring him in for a closer look. The challenge for Davis will be proving that he can carve out a clear role. Based on the information available, there appears to be a belief that his most realistic path may come as a situational edge defender. His athleticism remains one of his most attractive qualities, And if the Steelers can utilize that athletic ability in passing situations, he could potentially provide value as a speed rusher. Rather than asking him to perform every responsibility associated with a traditional linebacker position, the team could focus on putting him in situations where his movement skills can be maximized. At the same time, competition will be fierce. The Steelers already have established options at both linebacker and edge rusher, making it difficult for any newcomer to secure a roster spot. That reality means every practice rep, every preseason opportunity, and every special teams contribution will matter. Davis enters camp knowing that nothing is guaranteed and that he must outperform expectations to remain in the conversation. The roster math may ultimately be one of the most important factors in determining his future. If Pittsburgh remains healthy at key positions, opportunities could be limited. However, off-season signings like this are often about creating competition, increasing depth, and ensuring the organization has options available if circumstances change. Even if Davis does not immediately secure a major role, the Steelers now have additional flexibility while evaluating the roster throughout the summer. There is also the possibility that training camp becomes an opportunity for Davis to redefine his career trajectory. Former first-round selections often continue receiving chances because teams recognize the physical talent that originally made them premium prospects. Pittsburgh now becomes the latest organization to see whether those traits can be translated into a productive role. The coaching staff will have an extended period to determine whether he can contribute as a defender, a situational pass rusher, a developmental project, or a depth option capable of helping when needed. For now, the most important takeaway is straightforward. Jamin Davis successfully turned a minicamp opportunity into a contract and has officially joined Pittsburgh's off-season roster. The coming weeks will reveal how the Steelers intend to use him, whether he spends more time working with edge rushers or linebackers, and whether he can position himself to remain with the organization beyond the summer. His athletic profile, previous first-round pedigree, and familiarity with Patrick Graham give this story several layers worth monitoring as training camp approaches. With Davis now officially in the building and competing for his future, do you believe he has a legitimate chance to earn a role with the Steelers? Or do you see him ultimately remaining only a depth option during the off-season? And now the spotlight turns to training camp. Jamin Davis has earned his opportunity, but the real challenge is only beginning. Every practice, every rep, and every preseason snap will matter as he fights to prove he belongs on this roster. The Steelers clearly saw enough potential to bring him in, but now it's up to Davis to show he can turn that potential into a meaningful role. What happens next could determine whether this becomes one of the most overlooked moves of the offseason or simply another name added to the competition. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Jamin Davis has a real chance to make the Steelers' final roster, or do you see him ending up as a practice squad option? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this update, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and turn on notifications so you never miss any breaking Steelers news. And be sure to click the next video on your screen right now, because the latest Pittsburgh Steelers updates are waiting for you there, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.